Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Jankyard. Hope everyone had a lovely. Oh, there we go. Hope everyone had a lovely Christmas or other holidays that you may celebrate. And if not, hopefully at least you got some either time off or a chill time at the office when everything tends to be quiet. We are here back again for another collection match. This time it's going to be a replay. I think I've covered almost all of the games up to date other than my own. What's up, Fritzy and Therabre? I am going to be starting back in round one with, or I guess technically round two, myself versus hmaster. And we'll see where we go from there. I think this match is fairly short. The first two matches are short. The one against Shadowfire, which I'll eventually cover, is like 2 hours long. So that one will be something. I'll probably skip through a bunch of that. But let's just move on to the match we have today. I'm going to pop over. We've got myself on a Leo Mill versus hmaster on his Rejuvenate Aerodel. This is definitely not a favorable matchup for the Leo player. There's obviously a lot of pressure that can come from the Aerodel list. I'm actually going to pull the list up just so I remember. I don't even remember what's in my own deck, to be honest. But the Rejuvenate list is pretty deadly, and as far as I know, there's not a lot of blockers on my side other than Adaptodon, which obviously dies very quickly to Water Blast, and the Cobra is also pretty susceptible to dying quickly. So this is going to be an uphill battle, and let's just get right to it. I think if I just pop through the first few turns, it's pretty straightforward. hmaster, we've seen this now in a few replays. If you've watched any of them before, it's just get the Hippo book down, get the Rejuvenate down, and then for me, it's getting Cobra down. Yeah, Therabre, we'll see how much I remember about my own thought process. I remember this not being the best played. I made some severe mistakes that I think could have turned the tide of battle my way, but here we are. So then I dropped down Adaptodon book, hoping that maybe that's something that is either something I can keep alive or take care of the small units. And of course, hmaster is just going to drop the River Colossus. It is currently very difficult with those two books to do anything, counter this swing. And I think here I just say, okay, hit me. Of course, it's got Gigantic, so there's not much that this Ritualist is going to do, but I know that I'm going to take 4 damage, and I just let it swing. Now, the issue here is not the life total of taking the swing. I think that's totally fine. It's going to come up, but in my hand, which I'm using an alt account, so you can't see my hand in compact mode. But we'll get to it in the round. I think my big mistake is ultimately not taking care of this Hippo in an efficient manner. Adaptodon comes down, and I Ice Adapt prematurely, which I don't know why. The main issue with this deck that I have is that there's really not a lot of initiative. It's very reactive as a deck. There's obviously Ritualist, which you can put down, but like Adaptodon, you tend to want to have a target to either exhaust or ping. Ruby Cobra can come down, but it's going to get blasted away. And I'm also I think in this case, in this game, I'm bluffing it as a just like put it down, and you'll see what I have in my hand later. So I don't want hmaster to know what I'm using my 4 charm dice for, because in the deck there are Beast Tamers, which one is in the discard pile, and that is a potential way of dealing with a lot of his units. There is Farewells and Return to Soils. So, in my opinion, the Cobra was not a really good round one play, but I do want a second unit on the board, so I played the book and let him take the swing at me. The Adaptodon, even though it doesn't get the exhaust, at least it's 3 life and it doesn't die to Airedale right away, so it's really just about building up the board state. So we've got then the other books coming down. The Diver book's going to come down, and I think, okay, yeah, I pass because now I've got my books down. So again, this is part of the issue where it's just very reactive, and my mistake, I believe, I don't know what's in my hand. I can't. Can I see the hand? Oh, I can. Okay, I'll show you guys what the hand was. My mistake was twofold. One is I didn't meditate up early enough. I knew I wanted to play Farewell. I kind of had the idea that I should just Farewell the Hippo, and I didn't do it round one. And that was a huge mistake. A, would have saved me 4 damage. B, it would have just gotten 4 cards down and accelerated my game plan. And I think I kind of folded on this initial plan, and that was very costly. It was just not a smart play. I should have just farewelled right away. The other option was, which I ultimately thought about later if I got the chance to rematch hmaster, was I should have just done Root Armor Beast Tamer. And there's like basically nothing that hmaster can really do with that, as long as I can remove, or like I can take 4 in one swing, but he can't kill it with anything else. Root Armor Hammer Knight is also an option, which then still gives me 2 dice to Farewell the Griffin. So that was another play line. Basically, every other play line that I had originally thought of was better, and then for whatever reason, in game, I'm not very good at making decisions. Commentating is one thing. I second guess myself quite a bit. Alas. So I did not play I didn't meditate early, so I couldn't play the Farewell. That was a big mistake, leaving him have potential tempo advantage there. Finch obviously can come down for free. There comes the Griffin, and now it's going to get Farewelled. So, it's okay. I know that I can now play my Old Salt and have a Ruby Cobra down to at least waste the Water Blast, but I think really a Tamer sticking on the board would have been way more in my advantage, and not having to worry about getting hit by a Hippo Swing constantly. So then we've got hmaster, I think, finally summons the Diver. I don't remember. Oh no, he just rejuvenates and swings again, and there's nothing I can do. Well, I can... Wait, is it gigantic? Oh, it's gigantic. I keep thinking it's terrifying. Right, that was the reason I put it down. It doesn't get value as much, but, it blocks. Saves my life total. Dies cheap, easy. And there we have it. I got some weird sizing issues going on here. Let me see. Do you guys... Is this good enough for you? I think it's good enough. I don't have my other... screen up yet. I think that's a good size for everything. Let me know if you guys need me to zoom in. Sometimes I have a large screen, so it might look small on stream, but I think that's good. I think everyone can read this. If not, if you don't know the cards, just let me know, and I will do my best to tell you what all the cards do or what they are. All right, so we've got a very, I think, pretty good start as a mill player. Seeing 5 cards in the bin and having your Finch up, that's potentially 2 more, is a pretty good round 1 for a mill player, and only taking 4 damage. I'm not going to take anything else. This Cobra can easily die. Crystal Archer comes down. That wasn't something I really expected, and it's not something I can deal with all that easy. But I'm going to swing at it. And I don't remember. Oh, he does guard. Okay. So he was worried, I guess, about just getting an easy freebie on it. But I'm not sure if that was... Like, you're taking 1 damage. Fine. I think you have so many other options there. I'm not sure that was entirely necessary. But maybe he suspected that I had Old Salt and just didn't want to lose it. And then he's going to swing out and kill off In this case, the Finch, which I don't know. I don't know if that's the best or the worst. I guess he really just doesn't want to give me the transfusion token. So, like, fine. You're milling another 2 cards. For me, it's a free one. That's fine by me. And now I have at least a ritualist that I can pressure this Crystal Archer a little bit more. He's only got a die for Diver and for Water Blast. So we both sort of know at this point our options, and it's really just about executing. So I'm going to swing once at the Archer to get a damage down. Diver's going to come. There's nothing I can do to block it unless I just want to play my Old Salt, but then that'll die too easily. Oh, I do. Well, there you go. I guess... oh, right. So my thought was, okay, I'm going to lose the Old Salt. And if I'm going to lose an ally, I get the token at least. And it's my only other way of dealing with this Crystal Archer, where I can move from the River Colossus, the token, over to the Crystal Archer and get rid of it. It is a problem in terms of losing a beefy body, but I just accepted the trade. And again, this is a problem with playing even like Ritualist Transfusion, is you're just reactive to waiting for your opponent to kill the things that you want them to kill, or to put a unit down that you can actually ping away or exhaust. And hmaster played this round 1 very well, I think, and obviously came out quite far ahead. I've got 6 damage on me. He'll only have the Colossus, so I was kind of happy that I stabilized, but otherwise I still think I massively misplayed this. It wasn't great. When you just block with the Finch if he didn't ping it, if he didn't ping it, yes, I guess that I probably would block it in that case. There's nothing else that I was all too worried about. I mean, either way, it could have blocked the I could have waited for the Diver as well, but yeah, ultimately that Finch was dying, so I guess in his mind it was like, if I'm losing 2 cards, I might as well take out a unit guard while I'm at it. So here comes the Water Blast and then the Transfusion play, which is pretty straightforward, and I was actually pretty happy that I managed to take out that Crystal Archer and the Griffin, and sort of, managed to at least come ahead on board. If he was going top of round, if I was going top of round 2, I would have been, I think, in a better place because I could do something else to try and stop this Colossus. But that's not what happens. So, right off the bat, bad news. Reverberate, there was 1 in the bin from the very first, so this one kind of hurt. And it gives me the token, but it's not ideal because then he can swing and get another 4, and I'm now down to more than half life. Pretty brutal, and I now don't have a way of killing this River Colossus, but he also has still got a second one in the bin, on the board, that he can summon, and then the Rejuvenate train is still there. So now I'm starting to feel very pressured, and I do the whole Donnie trick, I think, again. Oh no, this was a bait. I don't remember what my hand is. I guess if you guys want to know what my thought process is, I should probably actually pull up my hand. I have Ice Trap for the Griffin, Sympathy Pain, in theory, to help take out a River Colossus, and then the Root Armor, Old Salt. This hand is not good. I saw this hand and I was just like, man, I'm in big trouble. I have only access to 3 units. The Donnie died right away, which is not good. Yeah, I have the Finch, but that's not really going to do anything. So I was just like, okay, well, the Old Salt, I don't want it to die too quickly, so I want to be able to avoid the Water Blast, and or keep the Ruby Cobra on board. But this is bad news. I think I considered Ceremonial recurring a Beast Hammer for the Root Armor. I don't know if I actually did it, but that would be a saving grace. A little bit too little too late, though. So I dropped the Cobra now that I'm not worried about Water Blast, and I can at least sort of accelerate my plan. I think he. Oh, what was that? Sorry. He played another Rejuvenate book. I don't know if this really matters in this matchup. Like, it is what it is. And, like, okay. I'm not really concerned about two Rejuvenates. One is enough at this point. Two more hits basically wins the game. So I am surprised that he didn't just swing the Diver and try and filter some of his cards. But I guess he wanted, I don't know, a block or something. I think that was maybe a little mistake on his side. I play the Old Salt, which, again, I think was a mistake. In this case, why did I not just summon or swing the Ruby Cobra? I don't know. That it sort of didn't make any sense. At least I could pull guard and get another mill, but it is what it is. So the Old Salt comes down and then just sort of sits there. It doesn't get water blasted, so whatever. I guess I do have to worry about Reverberate, but other than that, there's no Rejuvenate swing yet. And then I can place down a Finch, and here comes the second Hippo. And this is where bad turns to worse. So now he's got the ability to rejuvenate both Hippos, and I think he does. 2 dice, there's the Griffin. We know that I have Ice Trap. I'm showing a die for it. I meditated up early for it, so he could suspect, and maybe he doesn't care. But at this point, the Rejuvenate is a bigger issue for me. And, Shadow jumps in the chat and says, hi. Anyone else? No. This is where things turn even worse. So survival of the fittest is, I'll just go back for a second, is not something that I was really thinking about, but seeing that he has the dice for it, and considering that it is effectively like just terrible, I regret so much not swinging with this Cobra. Just the absolute worst here. I think, what did I do? I had also used the Chant of Transfusion token, which just opens me up. And this is where it's basically GG. That was such a good play. I think it's only a one of in his list, if I'm not mistaken. I think a couple people have it as a one of. And boy, is it brutal. Oh man. Okay. Quick note to people. If you are part of a tournament and you share your list, please don't delete your lists. At least make them public, so they're not a private share, but don't delete them. It makes it really hard, not only for commentary, but also for posterity, just when we're looking back at what the metas were or was at a given time. It really sucks to have all these missing deck links. So I'm not able to exactly remember what he has. I think it's only a one of, but nonetheless, that is a complete blowout. And I am in big trouble. I have no units. I have a Root Armor in my hand that can't do anything. And now I'm down the dice. I should have recurred a Beast Tamer, but I didn't. A Beast Tamer with the Root Armor would have done something this game, even in the second round. So yeah, and and for the kicks, he Divine Swings. So this is hits for 7. Oh no, it doesn't hit for 7 because there's no dice to buff it. So it hits for 3, and he gives up the Rejuvenate swing, but like at this point, the writing's on the wall. I was able, I guess, thankfully, to deal to kill the one Colossus. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was Sympathy Pain to put 2 damage down, and then Frog Ping. Kind of a consolation prize. I'm looking at his deck and my game plan and thinking, okay, well, I don't really care. Like, having 5 damage for free is kind of nice. His draw pile's at 7. That's still at least 2 rounds away, considering he's got 3 cards in hand. So it's a little bit rough, but this is basically round 3 GG. So we'll get there. I think I discard the... I didn't discard anything. I kept the root armor. I kept the root armor, which was a desperation play. And as you can see, again, not the greatest hand. And I'm suffering because I can't win against Airdel's 3 book or the Water Blast. So this is a little rough. I think I root armor this Old Salt. Yeah. Very much a desperation play. And hmaster swings right away. And I can't really take it without losing the Old Salt right away. It's kind of... it's a play that doesn't save me. That doesn't do anything. So it is what it is. Cobra comes down and Adaptodon eventually comes down. This is all just baiting the Water Blast and trying to have some bodies down. But in this case, I don't really think I have any way out. The Rose Gardener doesn't help me here. Yeah, I could take a token off Rejuvenate, but and the Fire Archers, even trying to recur them now, isn't going to win me this game. So it's a little bit rough. So I can Fire Adapt, and he Water Blasts it. At least there's a damage on the Colossus, which now I will... or actually, he swings at it. I would have used it to block anyway. It doesn't matter that it dies, because he's got one more in the bag, and I've only got these 2 units, and that is mega trouble. And this all stems from round 1, just not farewelling the first one. Like, that Hippo stuck for 3 rounds, which was brutal, and got, 3 swings in? That's a lot of damage for, 3 dice. And then on top of that, me not farewelling it didn't accelerate my game plan at all. I would have been way better trying to survive against the Griffin than I was against the Hippo. I sort of drastically miscalculated that. I had no answers for it because Griffin, any of my units can block it, but not so with the Hippo. And then I pass because I've got nothing to do, and it's just sort of eating lunch. So Swordsman comes down. I think a Diver comes down. Oh, I played Return to Soil, but, again, doesn't really matter. I think I take out the Reverberates. Or deal 1 damage. Yeah, I took the Reverberates. I was like, okay, well, at least he can't hit me with the 3rd one. And then he Raptor Herders, and that's GG. Just insult to injury here. There's really no good news for this. This was a bad matchup for me, but I played it really poorly. I think if I replayed this matchup, Root Armor Tamer or Root Armor Hammer Knight would have put me in a position where I could basically survive, especially with Chant of Transfusion. I think I could keep that unit alive over multiple rounds, and that would have been enough to then let me use all my cards to either remove his units, like with the Farewells, or just slowly accelerate my game plan. And it would have been having a unit that sticks around compared to Adaptodon and Cobra would have been much better than even having those books on board. So that was that was no good. And then Charm Die and lose. GG's. Hugely fast wipeout. hmaster played super well, and I think after this game we started talking that he was surprised I didn't play Hammer Knight, Root Armored Hammer Knight. That's what he was expecting, and it was just a miscalculation on my play. So sometimes you actually do need to do your homework, and sometimes even if you do your homework, you need to stick with your plan instead of changing your plan last minute. But yeah, I don't think this Leo deck is bad. I think this is a weakness, and it was a weakness that I could have covered up with a better first 5 plan. So I'm not saying that this is a bad deck that I'm going to scrap or anything. It's been a deck I've had around for a long time. The Chain of Transfusion was a new addition though, and I think the Adaptodon, given how many Aerodels in this tournament came out, would have been maybe nice to have, I don't know, some alternative flex for the Adaptodon. I think the Ruby Cobra is cheap enough to just have on board and summon, even if it dies to the water blasts. Like, you're just trading a die for a die, and baiting it out from your other units. But having a nearly useless Adaptodon would have been nice to do something else with it. It could have even been a situation where I just didn't play the book at all, but I don't really have a high enough saturation of allies in the deck to really support that type of thing, especially against an Aerodel list. But yeah, that was game one of my tournament run. I guess it's pretty early. Let's run through game two. I'm gonna, just for the sake of the way I have all the streams organized game by game by game, I'm going to drop this stream, create a new one with the title. That match will be me versus Redentor, and we'll go through that one, which shows off this Leo deck a little bit better. Nevertheless, congrats to hmaster. Hope you guys enjoyed this pretty brutal, pretty fast replay. Nothing too special about it other than sometimes if you make the wrong first 5 choices, that basically dictates the game. It can be hard, depending on your deck, to make a clawback, especially against a deck like this, which just has 1 or 2 really big units that can constantly swing. Mill is in a harder place, I think, in general. At least, like, sort of, if you consider a spectrum of mill, like going hard on the mill side, like more of a mill plan A, can be very tricky. And so yeah, it might be something that I tweak for the new meta, but we'll see how that happens in the next game. The next one is much better. So yeah, thank you guys, and we're gonna pop off. Hopefully you join me for the next one. It'll be up in, I don't know, let's say like 3 minutes, just so that I can actually get the stream set up. See you then. If you're not janky, you're stanky. Frog up, wolf down. In this case, snake out.